Good Monday! I trust you all had an awesome weekend. I love this time of year. It's not only because fall's around the corner, but really it's because fantasy football season is here. I don't even know how I find time to do fantasy sports anymore because I've been doing it for quite a few years, but it is kind of my guilty pleasure, and it gives me kind of like a healthy balance between business and family. But what I really enjoy most is that every year I get an opportunity to connect with my boy, Nicky Giordano. And if you guys don't know who Nick is, you're missing out. He's all over the internet. You got to check him out. But we manage a pretty heavily invested fantasy team together. And every year before the live draft, we get together for lunch. We talk about our draft strategies. And as much as social media keeps us connected, we always have this opportunity to bond and talk about our jobs and family and other miscellaneous topics. But yesterday there was one point that we were talking about. It was with our kids, and we were discussing how our kids are another year older already. And those were the actual words, another year already, another year older. And we congruently get another year older. So as they're getting older, we're getting older. So for that moment, it felt like time stood still. And I had a sense of deja vu. It just hit me. Like we were just discussing this last week, but it was a whole year that had elapsed since we did our last draft and talking about our kids. So this probably happens to us way more often than we like to admit, because it happens to me like at holidays, and it happens to me at birthdays, those milestone annual events. And we think, and I reflect and say, where did the time go? Like, what happened to the last year? It doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. I mean, there's a lot of great things that happen in the year. But what do you reflect on each year? What inspired me about our conversation yesterday is that our discussion organically transitioned and gravitated towards other people's situations and what they've been going over or going through over the last year. It's not that hard to take notice of all the bitching and the complaining that everybody's doing over social media about their life circumstances, and yet they're not willing to make a change. They're not willing to change it. For years, they continue complaining about the same things. So my response with Nick was actually pretty simple, and it was more of like a 5-year timeline. Just as the last 5 years have gone by, or the last year, it went by like this, right? In 5 years from now, or a year from now, you will certainly arrive somewhere. It's not a question of whether you're going to arrive somewhere in the next year, because you were just somewhere a year ago, right? And now you're here today in your current circumstance. But the question is, where will you be in another year from now? Okay, how will your life be different in another 365 days from today? I'm referring to any and all aspects of your life. Your relationship, I'm talking about your finances, obviously your health, and how about your self-belief? In a year from now, are you still going to be in that bitter relationship? Are you going to be surrounding yourself with those friends that are continue to be negative Nellies? Are you still going to be broke? Are you still going to be out of shape? Are you still going to have the same thoughts that you don't deserve any better than you have today? In a year from now, what circumstances are you going to create to make a change? So I have a Monday Minute Challenge for you. Start today in creating just one habit that, when done consistently this week, carrying over into next week, and then through the entire month of September, leading all the way into the rest of the year. When you've committed to this habit for the duration of an entire calendar year, or let's just call it August 27th, 2019, or a full year from when you watch this, don't just think about this habit, write it down. Write it down every day. Note it every day in your calendar, put it in a daily notebook, write it down, put it into action every day. It's as simple as digging a hole, right? We've all heard this analogy. If you take a spoon and dig a small hole into the ground, this hole in the ground represents your daily habit, the small habit that you've created that you're trying to implement into your lifestyle. And continue digging at that hole every day with the same spoon. Okay, what do you get? You get a deeper hole. You get a deeper root of that habit being embedded into your lifestyle. Point is, keep digging daily with that same spoon. Okay, and one day, in a year from now, you're gonna proudly admit that you are no longer the same person that you were a year ago. Actually, you don't have to say anything. People are gonna take notice. Your situations in your life will continue repeating themselves until you learn your lesson and decide that once and for all that you're gonna make a change. Stop acting like you live life twice. Make a change today. Honestly, I had no idea that my conversation with Nick yesterday was going to impact me or serve me as well as it did. And I really hope that this serves you just as well. So thanks, Nicky G, man. I owe you, and to everybody on this Monday, in good health.